So the Museum of Fine Arts Houston is one of my absolute favorite places in our city. And it has gone through some very extensive changes over the last decade. The Nancy and Rich Kinder Building, which opened in 2020,
Fabulous.
it's absolutely beautiful, holds the contemporary art collection, was the final piece of the museum's campus redevelopment plan that started back in 2012. The redevelopment project led to the addition to the Glassell Schol of Art, the Brown Foundation Plaza, and the Sarah Blaffer Foundation Center for Conservation. The person at the head of this redevelopment project was Museum of Fine Arts Director Gary Tinterow, who's been with the Museum of Fine Arts Director since 2012. That's right. To tell us more about the museum's past, present, and future, we welcome Mr. Tinterow himself. Gary, welcome to Hello Houston.
Hello,
Thank
Gary.
you very much. Nice to be at Hello
Gary.
Houston, and always happy to come back to Houston Public Media.
Glad. So I understand you were raised here in Houston.
Yes, I was.
So
No, actually, I just drove here down Blodgett Street, which is where our first home was, Blodgett and Delano. So it's all beautifully redeveloped now by TSU.
You've watched the whole museum district really grow up.
I've watched the city of Houston grow up.
Yes. Well, specifically the Museum of Fine Arts. What do you? I mean, was it a teepee back then, right?
Well, no, it already was a very distinguished museum. We had our first Mies van der Rohe designed building, the first museum building this great 20th century architect created, the Cullinan Hall. It opened in 1958.
Wow.
That was the museum. I remembered growing up, stepping off the yellow school bus in third grade in the 60s, seeing an exhibition of works by the Swiss artist Jean Tinguely, which we recreated in our new Kinder building.
Where did you get your art bug? Were you just
My
always there?
mother was an artist and a fundraiser, so I was able to merge those two interests into my current position.
Nice.
It's funny, it's not just a museum building anymore. It's like you're running a museum city there with all that you have developed and built, and a beautiful addition to the crown that's Houston.
Well, yeah, we think so, and the Seraphim campus is absolutely extraordinary. 3 buildings for the presentation of art, the Law Building, the Beck Building, and the Kinder Building, all by distinguished architects. And then in between, beautiful landscaping, plazas, the Cullen Sculpture Garden, designed by Noguchi, the great Japanese-American artist and sculptor.
And you think about parking when you're doing it, too, which I really appreciate.
Yes, absolutely.
We have 3 parking garages.
So before you were here in Houston, you were in New York, and I was curious. I was thinking about that. What surprises you, Gary, about the art scene here in Houston that you think people don't realize?
Oh, well, everyone is surprised when they come and visit our museum or Contemporary Arts Museum or the Menil Rothko Chapel, etc. Everyone is astounded by the beauty of our premises, the depths of our holdings, how vibrant our programs are. When you're in a flyover state, as far as the media is concerned, people just don't pay attention, except how lucky everyone here is to be able to freely enjoy all of these extraordinary assets.
And you say freely. That's a key word. Talk to me about that aspect. Is that something different from other big cities?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, each museum has its own admissions strategy and funding model, but more than 60% of our visitors at the Museum of Fine Arts Houston obtain admission for free. Excellent. So that we have our free Thursdays, and we're open late till 9 o'clock. Other days, there are admission charges. Everyone under 13 is free. Students with a library card come in for free. College students come in for free. Discounts for seniors, etc.
Gary, we've known each other a long time, and we were chatting right before we came on the air about the fact that over all these years, the museum is still vibrant, interesting, fresh, new. What kind of a challenge is it for you in this position to keep reinventing and finding new to present to us?
Well, I mean, I think if you were to ask my staff, they would say it's exhausting. Everybody, we all work really hard.
Yeah.
And all of those programs are a result of the 660 people who work at the Museum of Fine Arts Houston. It's an enormous enterprise. Yeah. But we're all united in this effort to provide something special to the city of Houston. And that's what gets us going every day.
Where should our interest be lying right now in the work you're doing? And I mean that in the regards to you not only present, but you help us learn about art and where we should be putting our attentions. And where do you think the Houston community should be looking now?
Well, there's so much really on offer in our museum, and not to mention the other museums, which are all spectacular here.
We do have a museum district.
We have a whole, with 17 members, I think.
Yeah.
So there's many things to enjoy, but we have been expanding our collections and presentations at the Museum of Fine Arts Houston into areas other than the traditional European and North American art that has always been the mainstay of our institution. So we have new galleries for the art of the Islamic world. We have a new gallery for Judaica, first time in one of the first encyclopedic museums in the nation to have a Judaica gallery and collection on display. We've increased our Native American and indigenous art displays. We're enhancing our African art display. We're buying art from all continents and by all people for modern and contemporary building, the Kinder Building, and constantly refreshing our displays. One of our most important initiatives is our Latin American Art Initiative. We have the absolute greatest collection of 20th century Latin American modernism in the world. No country in Latin America has what we have on view in the Kinder Building.
We keep talking about that. We forget the houses, too, you have.
Yeah, we have two great house museums, Rienzi and Bayou Bend. Rienzi on Kirby for European decorative arts, mainly 18th and 19th, a little early 20th century, but it's a beautiful John Staub building, one of his last houses. And one of his first was Ima Hogg's house, which is Bayou Bend. 1927.
Right time of the year to go visit that, isn't
That's
it?
right.
Yeah, everything's in bloom.
Last year, I took my daughter to the Azalea Trail, and it was just amazing. It was one of our most funnest experience ever going through the museums as well.
And last year the azaleas were really, timing the azaleas with Azalea Trail is not easy. Sometimes it requires, buckets and buckets of ice cubes on the roots. But last year was a great success.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. I want to say, so somebody's hearing this for the first time and thinking, well, I've got to go see this. What's the beginner guide? Where would you send them first?
Oh, well, I really would hope that you would walk through all three of our buildings with art. So that's the Beck, Kinder, and Law buildings, depending on where you park. So, our epicenter is South Main and Bissonnet, right where Bissonnet becomes Ben's, just north of the Meekum Fountain. And so you park in one of our garages, and we hit you right away with art.
Just wander.
So when you walk, you are experiencing art. And I always, this sounds a little crude, but I always think of visiting the museum as like a car wash. No matter what happens, you're going to come out changed, feeling better, refreshed, and
I love
new.
that. I
And
love
whether you're thinking while you're walking through the museum or whether your mind is simply wandering, it's going to affect you. It's going to brighten your life. It's going to change the way you see the world.
Last thing before we let you go, I'm curious. You've always got something going on in that mind of yours, or something's coming next. What should we be watching for?
Oh, we have some. Well, first of all, you should come now. So April is really spectacular because we're open late now, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights for the month of April.
Oh, great.
So Thursday nights are free. Friday nights have extra programming. Saturday are our premium nights where members get in for free. We have music, cocktails, lectures in all the galleries. We're firing on all cylinders. So please come on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night in the month of April. We have great exhibitions now. Amazing Renaissance tapestries and Renaissance arms and armor depicting a famous battle in 500 years ago precisely. These are unbelievable tapestries and extraordinary armor. And arms and armor always engages people. With a children's area where you can put on costumes, play with a castle, have a chess set.
Just for children, or can I go
hobby
with
horses. The hobby horse is a little small for you, Ernie. But the costumes would fit.
Okay, I'll be there.
Excellent.
And then
Thanks,
Tamara de Lempicka, the great Art Deco painter, Polish-born, lived in Houston at the Warwick, now the Zaza, and at Regency House on Westheimer and Kirby. So she's an icon. She's up there with Frida Kahlo. And by the way, we're going to have a year from now an extraordinary Frida Kahlo exhibition.
You heard it right here on Hello Houston. Museum of Fine Arts Houston Director Gary Tinterow.
Thank you.
Gary, thank you so much for being here with us.
It's a pleasure.